The city of Chicago, Illinois, was alive with its usual rhythm, trains rattling on the elevated tracks, horns blaring in the distance, and the hum of people chasing their next destination. For Emily Parker, though, Chicago was less about the sound of ambition and more about the sound of survival. At 28, Emily worked as a teacher at Lincoln Elementary School. To the world, she appeared cheerful and steady, the kind of teacher kids trusted instantly. But beneath the smiles, Emily was piecing her life back together after a devastating breakup that had nearly shattered her. 2 years earlier, she had been engaged to a man she thought was her forever, but forever ended with betrayal and a ring left on the counter. Since then, Emily had poured herself into teaching, convincing herself that love was a risk she couldn't afford to take again. Yet life, as Emily would soon learn, had a way of scattering the pieces and bringing them back in unexpected ways. It was a Saturday morning in March, still cold enough for coats, but warm enough for hope. Emily sat at a cafe in Lincoln Park, sipping her coffee and grading papers. Across the room, a man sat alone with a sketchbook. His hair was dark and messy, his jacket worn, and his eyes focused as his pencil moved quickly across the page. Emily glanced at him once, then twice. She wasn't trying to stare, but something about him pulled at her. Moments later, the man looked up and caught her eyes. He smiled awkwardly before looking back down. She tried to focus on her work, but curiosity won. On her way out, she passed his table and noticed what he was drawing. The very same cafe, sketched in careful lines with people sitting inside, including her. "Is that me?" she asked, surprised. The man looked embarrassed. Yeah, sorry. I just draw what I see. It's kind of a habit." Emily laughed lightly. "Well, I hope I look at least half as nice as you made me." He smiled, relieved. "Trust me, you do." That was how she met Jack Sullivan, a 30-year-old freelance illustrator who had recently returned to Chicago after years of living in New York. Over the next few weeks, Emily and Jack kept running into each other. At the cafe, at the bookstore nearby, even once at the park while she was jogging. Eventually, they stopped pretending it was coincidence and started meeting intentionally. Jack was easy to talk to. He had a gentle humor, a way of making her feel seen without prying too much. But he also carried his own shadows. He confessed one evening, as they walked by Lake Michigan, that he had once been married. His marriage ended painfully, leaving him questioning his worth and direction. "I left New York because I couldn't breathe there anymore," Jack admitted. "I thought coming back home might help me find myself again." Emily felt the weight of his words. For the first time, she realized they weren't just two people passing through life. They were two broken souls carrying shattered pieces. Emily and Jack began spending more time together. Dinners, late-night conversations, quiet moments where neither needed to speak. One evening, Emily invited Jack to her classroom to help with an art project for the kids. He brought paints and brushes, and together they guided the students in creating a mural. Watching Jack laugh with the children, Emily felt something stir inside her, something she had locked away. Later that night, as they cleaned up, Jack said softly, "You know, I think these kids healed me a little today." Emily smiled, her heart catching. "Me too." But healing wasn't a straight line. The closer Emily grew to Jack, the more her fears clawed at her. She remembered the betrayal, the nights of tears, the feeling of being left behind. She feared giving her heart again only to lose it. One night, overwhelmed, she told Jack, "I don't think I can do this. I don't know if I'm strong enough to trust again." Jack didn't argue. Instead, he nodded gently. "I get it. Trust isn't something you hand over. It's something that grows. I'll wait, Emily, for as long as it takes." His patience, His willingness to let her heal at her own pace spoke louder than any declaration of love. Spring blossomed into summer, and slowly, Emily realized that Jack wasn't asking her to forget her broken past. He was simply offering to stand with her as she picked up the pieces. One evening, they returned to the cafe where they first met. Jack pulled out his sketchbook and handed her a page. On it was a drawing, not of the cafe, not of strangers, but of her. She was smiling, whole, surrounded by fragments that had been pieced back together like stained glass. "I don't think you're broken," Jack said softly. "I think you're just made of pieces, and together they make something beautiful." Tears filled Emily's eyes. For the first time in years, she felt whole. A year later, Emily stood at the opening of an art exhibit. Jack's work on display, inspired by their journey. The centerpiece was